Recently, someone asked me to speak about what is it like to live without identity, and is it even possible? Because on the spiritual path, we hear, especially in non-duality, that there is no one here, there's no self, there's just simply emptiness, nothing happening to anyone, or no one here living this life. And I can understand that this can sound or seem quite scary, even, or disorientating, confusing when we first hear this message. Perhaps we think, well, if I wake up and see that there is no one here, will I lose my personality? Will I lose my humanity, my feelings, um, my history, that sense of me in relationship to my world around me, my family, my friends, my my world, right? Will I lose all of that? And that can be very scary to consider. And in a way, we have to face the fear of losing who we think we are and who we have believed ourselves to be. But at the same time, the reality of awakening isn't about totally losing identity. Identity is a natural part of being human. Actually, we need a certain amount of identity to function in the world. Right? There are roles that we play in our lives. We need identity in order to have relationships, to have roles in our work, in our interactions, in the way we go about our lives when we go to a doctor, when we go to a supermarket. There's all kinds of places where we need to live as if there is someone here and this me here. When we relate to different people in our lives, naturally a certain identity comes through. And so there's nothing wrong with that, and that doesn't go away. But what does change is the sense of being trapped by identity, a sense of limitation and a kind of fixed identity. Because when we see that who I really am is not limited to the story of me, the thought me, and all the stories that relate to this thought me, that I'm not limited to that, that in fact my true nature is so much more wide and unlimited, spacious, free. When we recognize that, then we can see that the play of identity is a play. It's a function of this human in the world. And so it's taken more lightly, more loosely, more fluidly. Identities come and go, roles come and go. I play at being this me. And part of the play of being this me is that I play different ways of being me. And perhaps even old patterns of me might still come up. Protection mechanisms related to the me that has been learnt as part of this the human mechanisms, the way that this human learnt to be in the world, to survive and to function. And so all of that can still go on. There might be more and more of a loosening in some of these patterns and mechanisms as we see that I am not limited to that identity of me. There's a more of a spaciousness around it. So I'm I'm perceiving the roles and the identities that come and go for this human, but I am not looking from that identity. So it's coming up in who I am as life itself, awareness, right? And in that is the play of this Unmani identity and roles that she plays, different roles that she plays in her life. And none of them affect my true identity, which is life itself. None of them are, it can even touch my true identity. And so there's a lightness with these different identities and an embracing of them, and also a curiosity with them. And it's that curiosity and spaciousness that allows a continuing exploration into these identities and roles that come up. And through that spaciousness that kind of holds these identities in a sense of compassion and love, a love for this human, this woman, this person that lives in the world with these different roles and identities. And through that compassion, there can be more and more of a loosening and a freedom with these identities in the lived experience of this person. So that means that the lived experience becomes more nourished and more free over time. But even so, even without that timeline of more and more freedom and nourishment and loosening, my true identity is always life itself. It is always that awareness of all of these roles and identities. So it is very possible to live without identifying fully with these roles and identities, taking them lightly. It is very possible to live like that and even to thrive and to feel more and more in alignment with our true nature. And it's not, as I said, we don't get rid of these identities. And so they are seen to be useful tools for living in the world. Always held in life itself, that uses this human, this person, to explore itself through these identities and roles in the lived experience.